Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are reviewing the KBO K2. Now, KBO says that this is your best choice for your first e-bike. Well, is it? I don't know. Today we're going to find out, so let's get into it. You see I'm wearing gloves and stuff like that? Yeah, because it is only 35 degrees out here in Chicago, and we are reviewing e-bikes. Now, the KBO K2 will come to you as a Class 2 e-bike, taking you up to 20 miles an hour speeds with their 5 levels of pedal assist, their cadence sensor right there, and their thumb throttle here on your left-hand side. This bike weighs 55 pounds and has a payload capacity of 280 pounds. At the time of this review, this bike is only $699. KBO came out with 2 different versions of this bike. They have a step over, which is called the K1, and this right here is the step through called the K2. It only comes in one size, which accommodates riders who are 4'7" up to 6'3". It comes in 4 colors: sky blue, midnight black, blush pink, and this pearl white that I have right here. KBO claims that the K2 will go up to 45 miles on a single battery charge. Now, please note, that would be if you were a much lighter rider, if you were in pedal assist number 1 the entire time, and we were on flat land. But this is Chicago, and I'm the one that's reviewing this bike, which means I am 220 pounds, and we have hills here in Chicago, and it's probably going to be a windy day. I don't expect to get near anywhere close to that 45 miles. The K2 has a 48-volt, 500-watt sustained brushless gear hub motor. It also has 45 Newton meters of torque. It has an ATA 7-speed transmission with a Shimano Tourney derailleur and the Shimano 7-speed trigger shifter. I do want to point out that this bike has a 52-tooth front chainring, which is great because most bikes have between 42 and 48 teeth. This size chainring can only improve the riding experience. For stopping power, you have a Taboka mechanical brake system with 160 millimeter rotors. It has an adjustable spring front fork with 45 millimeters of travel. Now, you can't adjust the preloads or lock it out, but it'll definitely help whenever you're riding on the street. The K2 has 20 by 3 inch Chaoyang tires. It has an aggressive mountain bike pattern, and they are puncture resistant. The battery is a 48-volt, 10.4 amp hours with 500 watt hours of power. It comes with a 2 amp charger, which means you can charge this bike up from 0 to 100% in about 5 hours. It also has 2 keys to where you can remove the battery if you want to charge it inside, but you don't have to because there is a charging port right there. To get to the battery, we're going to have to unfold the bike, so let me show you how that whole process works. Right now, when this bike is unfolded, it is 78.7 inches long, and to unfold the bike, we're going to do 2 things. There is a latch right here. You're going to lift it up, pull back, and then you're just going to drop that down. You also have this other section right here. You're going to flip that clip forward, pop it out, and just bring the bike back on itself while dropping it on its support that it has. When folded, this bike is only 35 inches long, 20 inches wide, and 28 inches high. Now that the bike is unfolded, you can lift it up a little bit. There is a key slot right here. Put your key in, turn it, and the battery comes right on out. To put it back in, you're just going to slide the battery back in, lock it back up, and you're good to go. Additional features include you get metal fenders, you have these plastic pedals that can fold. It does come with a back rack already installed on the bike, and this rack will hold up to 55 pounds. You have a quick release seat post, a narrow seat, which I kind of find interesting for a bike like this, and a telescopic stem. Let's talk size and fit. Now, one thing I do want to point out is the reason that I chose this bike is because it does have this step through to it. I thought it looked pretty cool. And, you know, it's the first type of bike that I've reviewed that has that kind of frame. Now, when it comes to the sizing of this bike, well, it does have lines on the bottom or on the back of the stem that tell you the locations of, it has a numbered setup so you can number it accordingly. Now, this is the lowest that each one of these can go. And as you can see, it is pretty low, so that's going to be for your 411 rider. Loosen this up, take it up to the top here. This is the highest it can go. And then you can adjust this as well. It also has numbers, which is good because in that way you can remember what your setup is. And that is your tallest configuration for your 6'4" or 6'5" rider. Cockpit Operations. On your left-hand side, you have this grip right here. It has a medium type rubber. It feels pretty good to the hand, I have to admit. You have your front brake lever right here. Here is your throttle, and then this is your control pad that operates everything. To turn the bike on, we're going to hold down this middle button right here. This is your power button. That's going to fire up your screen. As you can see, it is just a normal, basic black and white screen. You have 6 levels of battery power here, battery indicator levels here. You have your miles per hour. This tells you what level of pedal assist that you're in, and when you turn the bike on, it automatically goes into pedal assist number 1. We're just going to put it into 0 here for a second, and then this shows your overall odometer. By pushing the middle button really quick, it's going to change, show you what your trip mileage is, your time on the bike, and your max speed. To go up and down through the power levels, well, you're just going to hit the plus button, and that's going to take you all through each 5 levels of pedal assist, and it's going to bring you down as well. To start the walk feature, you're just going to hold down the negative button until it takes off. Let me show you how the headlight works. We're going to hold the plus button up. Headlight indicator just came on. It does have a front headlight, but it does not have a rear tail light or brake light. Turn the headlight off, well, you're just going to hold that button again until it turns off. On your right-hand side, you have your rear brake lever right here. This is how your gear system works. If you are wanting to drop in gear, you're going to use your thumb to push it down, and then you're going to use your index finger to put it back up in gear. The bike also comes with a bell. Now that we've covered all the specs, let's get her out on the road and see how she does. We are going to start off this review by checking the speedometer to the display. Normally bikes like this aren't actually correct, but this one is. So we have 20 on the speedometer and 20 on the display. We are now in pedal assist 0, which means that there is no power or assist being delivered while pedaling. And we kicked it down into like gear 4. We're cruising about 10 miles an hour comfortably because of this seating position. This bike should be pretty easy to ride when it doesn't have any battery power. Let's go ahead and see what kind of speeds we can get with pedal assist number 1. Just have it going right there. You don't really feel anything like it's providing any assist. Let me slow down and see if I feel it. Yeah, so pedal assist number 1 is going to get you about 9 miles an hour, which is the same speed you can comfortably ride without power. I kicked it into pedal assist number 2. Felt a kick from there. This bike is pretty punchy, which is a nice thing. And we are cruising at 11 miles an hour in pedal assist number 2. Pedal assist number 3. Yep, you feel it kick forward again. I'm going to kick it up a gear. Pedal assist 3 will have you comfortably riding at 13 miles an hour. Pedal assist 4. You feel it kick forward again. Kicked it up another gear. And we are cruising at 15 miles an hour, comfortably in pedal assist number 4. Pedal assist number 5. Ooh, that one actually really kicked forward. I got to put it all the way up in gear 7. And you are comfortably cruising at 20 miles an hour at that point. So pedal assist 5 will get you up to 20, no problem. Let's go down this hill. I want to see if it's going to hold us back or if it's going to let us go faster. No, okay. So some bikes will govern you back when it hits the limit. This one did not, so that's a nice feature. Let's go ahead and test throttle. I'm going to go ahead and put it in pedal assist 1. We're going to find out if the throttle is limited to your pedal assist level. Hitting it, ooh, I don't think it is because it just launched forward just using the throttle. Yeah, see, we're shooting up. We're shooting up in speed. We're going to hit 20 here in a second. Yeah, that didn't take long at all. All right, so we know throttle works in whatever pedal assist level you have. It's going to take you up to the full speed. Now, just riding this bike right now, it seems pretty comfortable, especially with this 52-tooth chainring here in the front. There'll be no ghost pedaling with this bike. Since this bike is pretty punchy, I'm going to go ahead and see how fast it's going to take us to get from 0 to 20 miles an hour using throttle only. And let's go. Woo! You have to be ready, guys, because it will just want to just jump forward. I bet this thing is going to be a nice little hill climber. And boom. What is that, 14 seconds? Somewhere around there. Now let's see how quick we can get to 20 miles an hour just using pedal assist only. I'm in gear 3. We have it in pedal assist level 5. And let's go. Yeah, she kicks Either way, whenever the pedal assist kicks in or the throttle, let's go, let's go. Oh yeah, definitely quicker when you do it pedal assist wise. This bike is spunky. So right now I can tell you that I'm not going to be a fan of this seat. It just seems like it's a little bit too thin for the way this bike sits and rides. I mean, I have other seats that are like this, but the seating position is different on the bikes, therefore, you know, making it just feel different. Now, seats are obviously a subjective, you know, personal thing. But besides that, I mean, everything else seems to be working fine. You know, we started off cold this morning, but it should get up to like 51 degrees today. All right, it is time for the off-road part. Let's see if we hear the battery rattling. No, we do not. Actually, this bike is not feeling bad at all on this cross-country endeavor that we're doing right here for the off-road part. Yeah, I feel like I could take this thing off-road for a while. It's just not rattling or making noise. Woo! Yeah, that turned out rather well. I was not expecting it to do that well or to feel that good in the off-road part. And even though we're doing 20 miles an hour, for some reason, you just feel like you're going a little bit faster. It is time for the hill climb. We're gonna go ahead and see if this little bitty nugget is gonna make it up the hill. I do have it in pedal assist 5. We know that 1 through 5 is gonna get you the same amount of power, and we are just doing throttle only. So let's go and see how it does. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna make it, although now we're hitting the more angled part. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Oh, looks like somebody's camping up here. All right, here we go. We're gonna make it. We're, oh gosh. You are not breaking any land speed records climbing up this hill, but at least we made it. Ooh, I wasn't sure there for a second. Yeah, I do like that this bike is not rattling at all. Well, now we're going to try just pedaling up it. I still have it in pedal assist level 5. I did drop it down to like gear 3. So here we go. Let's see how this works. Slow start. There we go. Took a second for it to kick in. Oh, yeah, now it's easy. Now we're just going to be putting no effort in at all. Well, we'll kick it down again. We're putting some effort in. Oh, there we go. That feels nice. Yeah, you can climb as long as you're pedaling, no problem. And this thing just whipped right up this hill. Not the fastest, but for a budget bike, it's doing really well. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the safety things that I put on this bike. Right here is my Magic Shine Me Too. Since this doesn't have a tail light, this has a gyro in it so that whenever I stop, it just brightens up. So it's kind of like having a tail and brake light on the back of your bike. It's battery powered. I'll leave a link in the description below. I put my foldy lock on here because, well, I put my foldy lock on everything. I totally trust that. Here's my Hafni bar end mirror. And here I have my Seco light because I like to have that strobe blinking thing to get riders' attention since I do ride around here in Chicago. We are doing the brake test, cranking this thing up to 20 miles an hour. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Ooh, these tiny pedals. Let's go, let's go. Oh, there we go. 23 feet. Round 2. Come on, baby. Let's go. Get her up to 20. There we go. 23. So 23 feet twice. She stops. These levers are hard, though. But that's what you're going to get with mechanical brakes. It is time for the sand test. It looks like the sand's a little wet due to the weather that we've been having here in Chicago lately, but we always have bad weather in Chicago. Take a look. Oh, love that skyline. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see how this bike's gonna do. I'm gonna have it in, let me go ahead and put it into pedal assist 5. I have it on gear 4, and we're gonna use throttle and pedal. We're gonna see how well we do in the sand, so let's go. Oh, we're doing just fine. Oh, well. Oh, it's getting thick over through here. Okay. Let's go. Okay. I'm using throttle. I'm pedaling. Okay, so she'll get you to the beach, but she won't get you through the beach. How about that? One of the bad parts about being out here is that I want to stay out here and I want to ride a lot farther. It's so beautiful. I mean, look at the water. Look at the skyline. I mean, come on. Come on. I know people talk bad about Chicago, but They're not in the areas that I'm at. I figured I would show you this walk feature in like real time. What you do to make it operate is you lower your pedal assist down to 0, and then you just hold that negative button and the bike starts to walk with you. As you can see, the little indicator on the display showing you that it is also in walk mode, and it looks like we're moving at about 2 miles an hour. There is another thing that I noticed about this display here. Let me take off, I'll show you. Is that when you bounce through the different settings, that it has this, which is your voltage, and that plays an important part. Right now it shows we're at 44 volts, and that is not bad. So that was a nice little hidden feature that I wasn't aware. That way, if you want something more accurate than those battery bars that it shows, well, your voltage is the ultimate when it comes to knowing how much you have left in the battery. We have dropped down to 3 bars of battery, but we are doing just fine as we still have 45 volts that we were putting out. Once we get to 43 and 42, that's when we're going to be really seeing how this bike handles. When the bike's sitting, we're at 46.5 volts. This bike's doing so well, I'm going to take it out to lunch. I feel like I have enough confidence in the distance that this bike can do that we can actually add that to the review. Let's go ahead and take a look at where we're at. This shows that we have 4 bars of battery left. It bounces between 3 and 4. Let's see what the voltage is it's showing. 46, so that's a lot. It's showing that we went 11 miles here. Strava showing that we've gone 14. We're going to stop here for lunch. We're going to see how many bars it shows when we hop back out in about 20 minutes. All right, let's fire it back up, see where we're at. And we still have 46 volts. It's still showing 4 bars. So the battery management system is doing pretty decent. It's keeping pretty accurate from the time that you turn it off to you turn it back on after waiting a period of time. All right, let's keep moving. Now that we have started riding, well, the battery level has dropped down to 3 bars, which is totally fine. You know, this gearing system has given me more confidence on how far this bike can go. So normally that would be a concern with a battery this size, but not with this bike. So when I'm thinking about it, it's like, oh, we want to be your first e-bike. You know, if you have a budget of like $700, I mean, this thing's doing better than other ones in its class. We are back on the 606 trail, and this is where we started, which means I'm about 3.3 miles from home. And I know that this bike would definitely make it. So we'll probably have to ride around farther than just heading back home because this bike is doing so well. Now, I want to talk about the display. It is in bright sunlight, and it has been all day. I'm wearing photochromatic glasses, and I can see the screen just fine. And that's just one of the benefits of having a black and white display, as you can see it in direct sunlight, no problem, whether you're wearing polarized glasses or ones like I'm wearing. Overall, I am impressed with this bike. You know, it seems super nimble. You don't feel like you're, can I trust the front end? Let's see. Woo, you can. So it's stable enough you can do that with it, so that's good. You know, the brakes stop it pretty well. I believe if I adjusted my levers, which is totally possible, you can adjust your levers, I don't know if you knew that, but when I do that, that'll make the stopping experience better. These levers are kind of tight, but the bike is also new, so maybe they'll loosen up the longer you have the bike, but it is also possible to make adjustments to them. The motor on this bike is super quiet. The only thing I hear are the tires. You know, she's not much of a hill climber when you're using just throttle, but when you're pedaling, well, she climbs just fine. I think I severely underestimated the range of this bike and this battery. Right here, the display shows that we've gone 17 miles. Strava shows that we're at 21.73. I trust Strava more than I do this display because I feel like I've been on this bike an awful long time for the type of bike that it is. I was down to 1 bar. It did shoot up to 3 bars, so who knows how long this bike's going to last. We are down to 43. We're down to 41 volts, but we're still cruising 19 miles an hour throttle only. It is starting to slow down a little bit, but this bike's doing extremely well. I am a mile from the house, so we're just using throttle only. The battery is starting to flash right here. You guys can see it. We're down to 39% on the old voltage meter, but we're still cruising. There's no pulsing, and we're just going a little bit slower with throttle only. Instead of the 20 miles an hour, we're just cruising at about 15, 16. The battery level is still flashing. We're cruising throttle only at 10.9. We're going to take this back to the house. We're going to be running really slow. All right, guys, we made it back. And I have to tell you, this bike went a lot farther than I thought that it would. But I believe that it has to do with this 52-tooth chainring on the front and the way that this bike is geared, which happens to be excellent. I had no ghost pedaling. I had none of that. Matter of fact, this bike was a pleasure to ride except for this. This seat is not for me. It might be for you, but it is not for me. It is too hard and it's too skinny. But you know what? If you're looking for this bike and you find the same issue with the seat, you can replace the seat for like 20, 30 bucks. So it's not even that big of a deal. Now, when it comes to mileage, the display shows that we went 19 miles, but Strava shows that we went 23.89. And because of that, well, I trust Strava more than I do this display. This bike also didn't make any noise. The battery didn't rattle and stuff. Oh yeah, I did have that issue where the fender came loose. But you know what? I spent 10 minutes before this final review and tighten it right on up. It was no big deal. That was just one bolt, no biggie. So make sure you tighten yours before you take it out for a ride. When it came to hill climbing, well, she's not much of a hill climber unless you were pedaling. If you're just using throttle only, not so much. But if you are pedaling, you're going to make it up the hill just fine. And if you are braking, well, these are mechanical brakes, but they definitely did the job. Now, if you are wondering, should this be your first e-bike? Well, if you only have a budget of $699, I'm going to say that this one outperformed a lot of the other ones in its price range. If you are interested in the KBO K2, I'm going to leave a link down in the description below. If I have any discount codes, I'll throw that down there as well. And if you were interested in any of the accessories that I also had on this bike, well, I'll leave them in the description as well. Well, that's it. That's my review on the KBO K2, and I want to thank you for watching. So until I see you again, enjoy the ride.